Oi. What's up, party people? Bronson, listen, I totally misunderstood what you were saying. That was a great video that you put up there. Very good. Very good. Very good. What's up, Renee? What's up, Cindy? Cindy Snake McManus. What's up, Amber? It was cool. It was very cool. I mean, I could kind of do things like break that down forever. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. I don't know why my TV keeps shitting the bed. I need a new TV. Your explanation is still helpful out though. Oh, no sweat. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, so I was having a session with Janelle today. It was hilarious. You're live on YouTube too. Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I said let's try it. So hang on. Home. And my channel. Yeah, see that? Why does it say test? That's weird. Okay, well, yeah. Didn't work yesterday with us because it's because so Shalonda sent me this video. There's streaming codes that you have to put in. Well, Shalonda figured it out. And then I think I'm going to upgrade my Patreon and get rid of what was the other one? No, Crowdcast. I'm not going to get rid of Patreon. Let me just focus for a second here. I'm going to get rid of Be Live, and then I'm going to go up my Crowdcast, because then I can go Facebook and they can't do shit about it. I can do YouTube. I could do Instagram. I could do multiple at once. So I could do, Be Live does suck a bag of dead donkey testicles. Absolutely does. So I was having I just finished the floor over at the shop. If it's dry in time for the summer, otherwise, no, it'll be fine. And I was working with Janelle, and it's hard. Like I mean, I get beat down on the daily by Nikki and Elliot and my wife and other people who are like, dude, you gotta, like, people don't understand. You have to slow it down for them. So anyway, with that in mind, I was working with Janelle and her dog Yazira, and she was having a really hard time. So I said, we should video this, and my battery died. And I wish to God we videoed it. I'll try to get it again, but the husky sit. Whoa. Prove that more than anything. All right. So are you coming on, Nikki? Because I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Okay, she says. Okay. Like, I don't want to put you out or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. We'll wait for the. Yeah, that's what I mean. What do you mean by the husky sipper you're eating? Look at you.
Sorry, eating dinner.
Hey, plants' lives matter.
It's vegetarian.
I know.
So,
you know what? Nikki, wait. Out in Minnesota,
what?
I got a vegetarian. Out in Minnesota, I got a vegetarian to eat chicken.
A what?
I got a vegetarian to eat chicken.
Well, then they're not a vegetarian.
Not anymore.
So
I was very proud of that. Thank you.
That's awesome. Proud of you. Yeah. Yay. So
wait, does it count if Candace held her down and I put chicken in her mouth?
No, that's a fucking dick move.
Oh, okay.
Well, it depends on the reason that the person is vegetarian. Because if you did that to me, we would no longer be friends. Because of my reasons for being vegetarian, which you know about. So we don't need to go into that.
That's how I get rid of you?
Yeah. It is that easy.
There is a fail-safe. All right, good. That's good to know.
Yeah. See, there's a way out. It's really simple. So, the husky sit, and you were just saying, oh, you have to spell it out for people, and that Elliot and I and your wife are always on your case about spelling, why you have to spell it out for people. Well, Ricardo's post really made that point for me, because people don't know what they're looking at. And people go, well, that's just to sit in a sterile environment. Any fool can do that. Well, yeah, I do that with my own dogs every single day to prove that I can do it. But the sit was not the point. It was, you had to actually break it down and explain what you were doing and why you were doing it. Even something that looks or seems as simple and basic as that to you, to everybody else will get something else from it. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that was my point.
So what I'm working with Janelle, right? And it was just the coolest thing. Like, I haven't seen Janelle in a while. And we're working with it and her dog. And I don't know how many people that I don't know how people train. I don't know how people understand training. I don't know what people have been taught. I only know what I know. And if I know you, I can see. So Minnesota is largely, there's no club, there's no trainer. It's a group of people who have dogs and have tried other trainers and said, okay, this isn't working. Let's get Chris out of here. So they're bringing me back again in December. So they are a bunch of incredible people. And
you know, in my brain, you went a bunch of ink, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to say a bunch of incompetence. And I'm like, that's a bit harsh. Yeah, the way your brain goes, I'm like, what?
No, I love them. They're my girls, and a couple of guys. There's well, it's mostly women. I'm telling you, mostly work with women. That's the biggest thing. Oh, come here. You
big misogynist, you.
Got to make Auntie Nikki happy. Come here. Come on. Hey. Here. Ouch. Come here, dummy. Hey, come on up here. Come here. Biggs, come here. What are you doing? What do you want? Can you even see him?
I can see him, and I'm happy.
Look at him.
Big old boy. He's so handsome.
He's 6 pounds and go fuck yourself. All right, go away. Jesus.
Is he with Austin?
Yeah.
I was like, that's Figures why he's just.
That's his dog. That's not my dog. That's his dog. Like, that dog will kill me.
No. I got Austin. I'm happy.
Oh. So we were working, and I have you ever seen someone go, they beg, right? So they'll go heel, and they want them to come in, so they're kind of luring with the food. Do you know what I'm saying? Right?
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, have that conversation on a daily basis.
And then you have people who are like, heel, and they want to fix a fucking dick, right? I said, because of the way you're training and the way, this is so hard, the way you have taught that's right. Because I don't like good dog or good boy or something like that. I like that's right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain it to her. And she said, can you just show me? I said, yeah. So I took the leash. I really wish we videoed this because her jaw hit the ground. And I love that because that's one of those moments where that's what you play for. That's what you play for. That's the moment where we would all be like, just going crazy, right?
It's the joy moment.
Yeah, the light bulb moment. So let me slow this down because I get very excited. I said, I got to step out for a minute. And I always tell people, just play with what I taught you. And I don't know if they know what that means. They're like, yay, dog. I'm like, no, don't play with the dog.
Yeah.
Think about what the dog is thinking.
Yeah.
Think about
have a feel around and see. Yeah.
So I come back and I come into the building and her dog is sitting in a perfect heel, but looks over at me. And she goes, heel. She's got a prong on. Heel. And the dog's in heel, except the dog's head is looking at me.
Yeah.
So I said, can I just have the leash? I want to show you something. That heel, what does heel mean to your dog? And she said, it means to get into this position. I said, no, that's not what heel means to your dog. She said, yes, it is. I said, no, it isn't. So I'm very fair with the dog. Super, super fair, right? So the dog does something right, and I will reward the dog. And the dog does something wrong, that's a little more fuzzy. That's where the skill comes in corrections. Like that's, you can't just be ham-handed and just be like, you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's not going to work for you the way you want it. So I was trying to tell her how to tune the dog into her and use the word heel for two reasons. Number one, to shut the dog off on whatever's stimulating it away from you. And so that's the don't. And then the do is to come flip into heel, look up at you and be like, I get it, right? Like that's what you want. Yeah. A lot of people that use e-collars and toys have a dog that is mimicking that because the dog is waiting for the toy, not doing it for you. And that is so hard for people to understand. So she's like, I don't get it. All right. I said, so you know how I teach. I want people to get it on their own. Like I'll keep just like it's real teaching, right?
Yeah.
So I said to her, watch this. So I said, heel. And her dog stood up and went like, and I just walked away. And she's like, well, why doesn't she fucking heel? And I'm like, okay, wait, just wait. Now, every time the dog gets into heel, I just take my left hand on the inside of the dog's face. And you know how I showed you that, right? Where you just, because if you scratch on the inside of the face, the dog will turn into you. If you scratch on the outside, it'll turn away. So, like, I mean, it gets deeper than that, like how freaky I get with all that shit. Like, but like every ounce of horsepower that you can get, right? So I come back in and she said, why don't you just say heel again? I said, because that's not what the dog thinks heel means. And she's like, what does heel mean? I said, heel means the dog's going to get fucked up. And she's like, then what's the heel command? I said, watch this. So I go, that's right. And the dog comes running the fuck over, hits heel like just bang. And I just pet it. And the dog, I said, the dog's never been fucked up for that's right. Never. The dog has been rewarded for heel, bribed for heel, and corrected for heel. That word is so clouded in the dog mind. No, Danielle, we're talking about today with Janelle. And she, I'm watching her. She's sitting on the couch going, and I walk by with her dog and I go, let me help you out with that. Like, and she's like, what just happened? And I go, so I did it again. I just told the dog to plots and I walked away. And then I said, heel. And the dog goes, ooh. Because the dog thinks, you say the word heel, dog thinks it's going to get it. That's not, she's had a lot of bad training. And I'm not shitting on Janelle. I love Janelle. And I love working with Janelle. And the dog's like, whoop. And I said, now watch this. That's right. Whoop. Right in the heel again. She's like, what the hell is happening? And I said, you're just because you want the word heel to mean this doesn't mean that you're broadcasting it to your dog so that your dog understands it that way. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, wait. So she just looked like she had an ice cream headache. You know what I mean? She's like,
brain freeze.
And I'm like, I'll be over here painting. Let me know when you need me.
Yeah, so but that's the frustrating bit, because then as the handler, you go, so how do I change that's right to heel?
That's it. That's what fucked her up. And so I go, but do you understand what happened there? And she's like, no. Yes. And so I'm like, okay. So then what we have to do, and this is how I teach all the time. If I'm teaching you, right? If you're my regular student, we work like this all the time. And I said, okay, so let's just stop. You have to understand. And so what she's looking at is the human eye point of view. She's like, why doesn't this make sense to me? But what I'll tell you, and I told her, is I said, it makes perfect sense to the dog. That's why DPOV is so important. Because what we do is we start saying things to the dog and it's a correction. And then we start saying things to the dog and it's a lure. And we start saying things to the dog and we let it go. We start saying things to the dog and we bribe. We do all these different things. And the dog hears that word. That word is the precursor to everything that's wrong. But if you say, foos, that dog goes, fuck that. Fuck that. That comes from the dog seeing the correction. Foos. Now you add opposition reflex where the dog's got a prong on. It's too hard of a correction. You're not teaching, you're smashing. You go, foos, and you want the dog there. You pick that dog up and you put that dog there. You know what it reminds me of? That guy who, the Middle Eastern guy who leg swept his dog and Malinois. And you're going like, dude, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. And that guy's whole motive, his MO is, I'm going to fucking beat it into you. That is the same thing the guy who was doing the nails was doing. Remember that video this morning? If you think you can't tell what someone doesn't know, that's the thing that gets me with the videos, is because I'll put a video up and say, hey, look, and people go, yeah, what are you talking about? I've had to do that. And I'm like, but it's not, I mean, sure, you can do it that way, I guess, but why do both dogs have muzzles on?
But it takes you really even further down the rabbit hole, because you and I had a conversation a little while ago about that I had, when I'd been teaching Foos with Bear, and that she, through my own, obviously entirely my own fault, I had made her equipment wise. So when I went to stretch something out on the long line, and she was just like, she glued herself to my side, and I'm like, okay, so how do I fix this? And without going into too much detail, the way I fixed it was, we had talked about it, was by giving her a come to Jesus moment paired with something that I had taught her. And that was the moment of clarity. But that's deep rabbit hole stuff, because if you haven't taught the thing in the first place and the dog knows what that specific thing, that command means, then you get what you're talking about with Yazara and Janelle. So I didn't end up with that. I ended up with the dog that, when I say Foos, okay, she moves like a tank, so it's not fast because she's so enormous, but she knows now I'm not fucking around when I say Foos. But with a different history and with different interactions prior to that, I could have ended up with the same thing. So two different things.
It's a different dog. You're talking about Hadouken versus Yazira. And the other thing is I'm not, what? Oh, my son wants the middle finger there. He gave you one walking by. And there you go. That craggly old Cruella de Vil finger. So the
disappointed I missed it.
The thing is, and this is hard to understand, I'm guilty of it too, but the thing is, when that's the attitude, Nikki, when you say, my fucking dog knows what the word heel means now, that's the dog offering something. If the dog, this is my Czech mentor, if the dog knows the word, you don't have to yell it. You teach the dog that's what aerial Poldunas is so good at. Like just that foundation communication with the dog, it's flawless. It's as
and that's
close.
What you want to aim to, because with mine, I don't want to be militaristic. I don't want to revert to my background, which wasn't brutal. People think that where I came from was brutal. Absolutely incorrect. Don't know what I did, but it was very militaristic. and the, you know, the neutral and the Fuss and Plutz, and I'm like, you know, I start to sound like, you know, getting Helga from Helga's House of Pain. And you know, what I started to work on was Fuss, and I do that, and my dogs are just like, you know, it's Disney kind of, it's so cute. And I thought I want a different relationship, but you're working on that stuff every single day. And the point that I'm very, very cack-handedly trying to make is it comes back to the cookie cutter stuff. So we did this and the dog did that, because I watched you, and again, I'm not going to go into details, but I watched you and Janelle working outside one time back at the old shop on Foos in a certain circumstance at distance. And
oh yeah.
I remember what I'm talking about. And that's when you and I were talking about that in relation to Bear. And as you said, different dog, but be careful how you can't apply the same thing across the board. You have to do the forensics. You have to go so deep.
You can apply the theory across the board. You can't apply the technique across the board, because that dog is so far ahead of Janelle on I.N.T.D.I.Y that it's, I mean, the dog is born with it. So the dog, so she's like, what the fuck? And her foundation, you have to want to understand it. You absolutely do. And the whole thing is, there's a bunch of people out there, men and women, who will go like, I don't need to fucking understand my dog's point of view. My fucking dog needs to. All the problems you're having with your dog in training are because of that attitude. I'm not a fairy farts, unicorns, and rainbow kind of guy. I'm not. But I can also tell when a dog is like, bitch, prong me one more fucking time. Shock me one more fucking time. Because that dog wants to learn. And that dog wants to trust. And Janelle said she started off showing me a video of how the dog was, she put food in the kitchen and she had the dog back tied on a leash. Excuse me. And she went to take the leash off the dog and the dog snapped at her real quick. And Janelle gets very upset, but she's getting so much better at it. And she's like, I mean, she's way different than she used to be. But she said, well, that bitch fucking snapped at me. I said, but that bitch snapped at you because you bitch snapped at her more times than she's ever snapped.
She sounds like she's talking about herself.
They're the same thing.
Right. And I love Janelle, but when you said what she said, I'm like, she just looking in a mirror when she said that, and she knows it as well. That's funny.
That's that 80s club mentality. You walk by a girl, like I see girls like dressed up to the nines. They walk by and they're like, and then the girl does it to them, like, that fucking bitch did that to me. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So it was a great lesson. And when I said, that's right, and the dog comes to heel, the dog goes, I know where to get the sugar. I know what label you say to get the sugar. The problem isn't that. The problem is that the way you correct, there has to be a negative and a positive. The positive, almost anyone can apply. It's easy. Everybody loves doing it. You actually have to stop people from doing it. The negative, with the dog looking at you, you're telling the dog, heel means don't come near me. But with the dog looking away from you, how you move your feet, how you back up, so the dog gets the correction, didn't see it come from you, and then goes, what? And you're like, I know, bad shit happened. I used to do King Julian's voice, from the...
That's so funny, because, I was saying to you earlier, I want to talk about my slight love affair with the pit bull that is developing. And we had one of those moments today, because I was like, okay, need to get him a little bit more tuned in. And he had a pit bull moment. And we had exactly that circumstance. And I turn around and he got the come to Jesus moment, because he was just so tuned out. And it was so funny because he looked at me like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
And it was like, can you believe it? And then he was just
but the difference between, and you're talking about a come to Jesus moment. I'm going to tell you something. You could put as much come to Jesus on the dog as you want. You are as light as a feather, and you're like, people look like, what did she do? Look at her. Like I'll give her 2. There's no way. So anyway, if the dog's not looking and you're taking pressure off the dog goes, what the fuck happened? And you're like, what's that? So now I used to call it the bees. And have you guys ever seen the Penguins of Madagascar and King Julian, the lemur there? Have you guys ever seen that? That's like my favorite cartoon. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. You know, the penguins, they're fucking great. But
I do not. I will watch it.
Oh my God. But I just love the little voices that happen when you're training, right? So the dog, Yazira's looking away from me and I pop, but she's looking away. And the pop is at the right level, at the right time, in the right direction, towards the answer. And the dog is like, huh? And I'm like, well, the bees came and stung you on your tuchus. Oh my goodness. And the dog comes right in there. And that voice instantly takes you, like I had a guy that was working for me that just loved to make corrections. He always thought that the dog was trying to humiliate him. Always. And so I'm like, how do I get this guy to understand? And this happens a lot. People's corrections sound like praise. They're like, heel, no, heel, good. That's all the same. That's all the same. And then people go, heel, no, that's good. That all sounds the same on the other end of the spectrum. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? Right? So I started to make him talk like Kermit the Frog. Like, I'm like, you cannot talk when you correct. And when you praise, you have to sound like Kermit the Frog. And he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, get out. And he left. What's Tony say? Can you read that?
A lot of people do that with recall. If the dog doesn't come back first time, they get frustrated, and the dog can tell, and then doesn't want to come back at all. But yeah, you see it every day.
For exactly what you don't want it to do, or you do want it to do. So anyway, he comes back. He comes back again the next day, and I'm like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "No, I'm not fucking doing it." I'm like, "See you tomorrow." And he's like, dude, I pay you money. I said, you're paying me for a lesson, bro, Hammer. That's what you're paying me for. You're going to get the fucking lesson. Was the phone with the nail guy? No. Oh, you were on the phone with the nail guy. Oh, we're going to have to talk about that. So, so now he comes back the third day, and it's usually the third day. And I'm like, how we doing? He's like, I tried for the last 2.5 days to prove you were wrong. And I said, what happened? He goes, my dog bit me. And I went over and I pet the dog. Like, good dog. He's like, you're such a dick. And I go, And he's like, hey ho, you're such a dick. Right? And I'm like, that's my boy. The dog goes like this. Like, I mean, the dog just changed. The dog just changed. When he's at home with the dog and the dog's off leash, he's like, hey, buddy, how are you, pal? So good to see you. When he puts that fucking leash on, he turns into fucking Hannibal Lecter. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, dude, do you understand that? Do you understand that you are a daddy's been drinking motherfucker? And he's like, well, that's how my dad taught me to play sports. And I'm like, that ain't your dad. This ain't a sport. And that's not your kid. And the lesson was...
It is inherent in most humans to go from here to, it's what you're always saying about, house rules when you first start working with somebody. Dog cannot come up on the bed. Dog cannot be on the couch, no dogs on furniture, whatever. We go from here.
We can't ever do that again. No,
ever. No. That's not what I said.
6 years old, he cannot go to a whorehouse. Like, he cannot do that ever. No, when he's 21, he can fucking do whatever he wants. Yep. He can go get some fucking scattered ass and some strange pussy. Go ahead. But when you're 6, you do not have the mental capacity to understand that, and your head will explode. So it's really hard because everybody's soft. Shalonda, was it a good conversation with that guy or not? She's been working on this pretty hard.
But it's funny, isn't it? You say, you know, when I was saying come to Jesus moment with that sweet pit bull today, because for him it changed everything. But I remember, because we don't work with pit bulls here because they're a banned breed, this is very new territory for me. So it's being able to read this dog, I'm just focusing all my efforts. I'm like, he's a very, very interesting dog to work with, because he's doughy and soft like a well-bred Labrador. And and then so you get, I'll just turn correct, and he goes, oh Jesus, is that what you wanted? I'm right here, I love you so much. So for him, bing, was all it needed. That was in his head. It was a CTJM. For me, it was just like.
But we talked about this with the current terrier. Was it?
With the what?
If the dog's in drive and you do that, you run a chance of transference really hard. So people, that's why I tell people, don't fucking try it. It was interesting. He's up for talking to you, but not sure if he'd do a live. He's a bit emotional. He's gotten a lot of death threats, so he's like venting like crazy. Got a lot of details. Listen, man, you got a lot of death threats. Come on, welcome to the fucking club. Are you kidding me? I get them on the daily, on the regular. You come down here, I'll kick your teeth down your throat. Oh, he likes me. Oh, good. See, tell him to stop training dogs. Tell him learn how to train dogs before you start training dogs. And that's the thing. This guy's made a big mistake. He's made a huge mistake. And he did what a lot of people do. There are people watching this live who are dog trainers that shouldn't be dog trainers. You're not because you can't be a dog trainer, but because you're not ready to be a fucking dog trainer. And the problem is, over and over again, I have notes. The problem is, over and over again, is that it's very hard for people to stop doing something when they're making money or getting notoriety for it. It's very difficult to do the right thing. It's very difficult. And so what people do is they paint themselves into a financial, emotional kind of social media corner, and they can't fucking get out. So when I watched those 2 videos that popped up within 12 hours, he's not making much because he takes a lot of shelter dogs. Yeah, he needs to stop. He does not understand. One of the biggest reasons why I quit working was trying to figure out the puzzle pieces. Yeah. So just look at this guy. So I kind of feel bad for him. I don't know who he is, but this is what everybody's taught nowadays. You can be a professional dog trainer. Facebook page, website, maybe a business card, and you're out there. You're out there. Are you shitting me? He George Floyded that dog. Did you see it? He had his knee on the dog's neck not because he's a bad guy, but because he doesn't understand, and he's painted himself in the corner where he's got to get this done or he doesn't get paid. Or he looks like, and then taking that video and putting it out on the internet this is the problem. This is why I feel bad. There are people who I say, look, you need to stop training dogs and you need to get a mentor and you need to do this the right way. He's seen the bonker and the penetrator and a long list of others. Yeah. You got to stop. And people go, you're a fucking asshole. I really could not be trying to be nicer to you, because a video like that goes out and you could ruin any hope you have of a career, any hope. And people make mistakes. People get frustrated, women and men. They get frustrated and they do. I cannot imagine coming up on social media and putting shit like that out there. What that video shows is that he's frustrated and that he doesn't know about dog behavior and he doesn't know about human behavior. You can have
fear. Yeah, and fear. Don't you think fear comes into it a lot? Because people can be hear me out on this. People can be afraid of a dog and afraid that people will see that they're afraid of the dog.
Oh, well.
So, you've got two levels of fear there. And
there's many levels of fear there.
But those are the two I'm specifically referring to in that instance.
But I think for him, it's not fear of the dog. It's fear that I don't know if the fear was the primary thing. It was frustration that was the primary thing, because he's labeled himself a professional and now he's doing that. And when I don't ever want my dog trainer to go, hey, what would you do for this? Like, what are you doing? What? People are paying you money. And even if they're not paying you money, what are you doing? Like, so we look at people who want the prestige. They want to make a career out of something they know nothing about. So you look at the 2 videos within 12 hours. You look at the first Schutzen video. That guy got laced in the leg, made the appropriate correction, never flinched, and talked to the people like, so what you have to do here is da. That's not about money. There's no, like, I don't care what academy you went to. You're not going to learn that at school. You're not going to learn that at school. And when the dog bites you and you instinctively don't, he never took it personally. He never fucking took it personally. Never. Then you get the other kid who's, I'm a dog trainer, I'm this, I'm that. And it looks like, seriously, the George Floyd restraint on the dog with the muzzle. And then he's like, somebody fucking do that. That's the difference. That's the difference. When you look at someone who knows how to train a dog, they don't have to have an e-collar. They don't have to have anything. And what really gets me is there's so many people who will tell you that they are so good at what they do, and they'll misrepresent themselves, and they have systems, and they have all these things, and they get so mad when you don't co-sign their loan. They get mad at you. You asked me to help you train a dog. You wanted me to tell you this, and you're mad at me because I'm telling you you're advertising like you're here, and you're not even on the picture. Well, I thought you were my friend. I am your friend. But somebody's got to stand up for that fucking dog. And I want to get you there. I want to get you there so bad. But you got to fucking earn it. You got to fucking earn it. And the problem is you don't have to earn shit anymore. You just start. Look at this kid is a living example of that. And people will trust him. He's trying. So look at just from what Shalana said. He's not making much because he takes a lot of shelter dogs. Because he's not making money because he doesn't know how to train dogs? No, because there's tons of people that don't know how to train dogs that are making money. Mm-hmm. He's not making money because the market's fucking saturated. He's not making money for a lot of different reasons. But you don't need to know what you're doing to train a dog anymore. You know? Friends are some of the only ones that can show you sometime super real ass truths.
But the Schutzen, going back to the Schutzen video, that was interesting on so many levels, because I went to the original post that the gentleman, Rodrigo, I think his name is, isn't it? Rodrigo Ormond, posted on the Muzmuz group. And that was fascinating because you've got all the little, I've been a decoy for 5 minutes and this is shit. And, and I thought, it's interesting because they don't know what they're looking at. They're selling themselves as decoys. But what's really sad is that you can sit and you can play. And I did it because I don't know anything about Schutzhund at all. And I thought, I want to get all the nuance out of this. So I downloaded the video and you watch it frame by frame by frame. You watch the guy's facial expression.
It's unbelievable.
When the dog takes a shot, he actually gives a sort of wry little half smile. And people go, he corrected out of anger. And I'm like, did you watch his face?
No, he did not.
No anger at all. It was a wry half smile because when he twitches his leg, he knows what the dog is going to do. So he knew what he was going to do before.
He's proofing before the trial. It's possibly a dirt. So there's an Alex Vladkin video that's out there where the dog is in the blind, and Alex tries to do the same thing, and he pays for it dearly because he doesn't have, or he didn't have, the skill at the time. He got fucking laced by the dog, and the dog learned something. What? I'm paying for Patreon, but cannot get the content. Another question. It is a rolling monthly contract. Julie, talk to April, and she'll hook you up. So the deal is that he made a big video out of that because it was on film, and he put it out there like he's really proud, but he got fucked up because he was bad.
Mm-hmm.
He got fucked up because he didn't know what he was doing. He went to, so this guy, Rodrigo, went to correct the dog and went, like that. It was over. It was over in less than a half second. Alex went like this. That dog was like, and he got one, and the dog goes, do it again. Do it again. It's like a boxer timing you out. Boom, boom. And then you go, boom, and that left comes down, and they get you. They're always watching. Neutral as fuck too.
But yeah, it's so funny. I had that conversation just the other day with a client. You know, I'm like, your dog can spot a pattern long before you're even aware that one exists.
I will tell you, and I mean this, and I'm saying it publicly. If you are doing bite work or obedience, get the fuck off Muzz. Get off it. It's no good. It's courage test after courage test after dick. I've watched Muzz and his wife drag dogs through situations where I would be arrested if I did it. And I remember in a conversation where there was a whole bunch of people that were working over there. I'm not going to say their names because I'm not going to drag into it. But Muzz got twisted because I said that training was shit. And he's like, and this is how you know I'm telling the truth. He goes, that's bang out of order, man. That's bang out of order. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Okay. So I'm like,
you are very wrong, my friend. You are very wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. No, I'm not
that's
wrong.
the translation of what he's saying.
I know.
Yeah.
But because of his wife. And here's the thing. There's a lot of flash with e-cars, and you watch, there's a lot of stuff. Not everybody's good at this. And when you look at the shit that they put out, and they encourage, I'm shocked that you guys are allowed to have dogs in the UK. I'm shocked because
I want to get off this bloody island.
Well, but here's the deal. I'm not mad at them. Muzz is a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy. Okay.
I'm sure he is.
No, he is. And he's a marketer. He's not a dog trainer. All he's trying to do is capitalize on something that I don't even really think, I mean, he'll probably tell you he doesn't know a lot about it. But what it is it's like capitalism. It's promotion. It's bullshit. And what you have is a bunch of fucking bottom feeders who now have a place to go and stunt bite their fucking chest and be like, oh, this, that, and this, that. Fuck off. You get, I mean, where's the high level training? Where is it?
Not on there. It's not on there.
And I get it's disturbing to me. It's very disturbing.
The thing is, if you want the high level stuff, the better places to look are on where the Europeans, the French and the Belgians and the Dutch are working, and the Germans.
We had that conversation. I said, he goes, well, we can't find any good trainers. I'm like, dipshit, you're in Europe. Like, are you Dave Ranier? What? Dave Revere? That said
Dave
what?
Reaver. The decoy on Rodrigo's post is Dave Reaver.
Yeah, he doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. How long has he been a decoy? See, here's the other thing too. I know certified decoys, PSA, a lot of other kind of organizations that are just courage test, take a bite on the left hand side. You're not a decoy. You're just meat in a fucking French linen suit. That's what you are. You're just meat. And that's the problem. Once the dog leaves the handler's hands, the decoy becomes the primary teacher, for better or for worse. That doesn't mean that the decoy is allowed to correct my dog. If you watch me do bite work with a dog, which, by the way, I have some news about that, you will see that I am very selective about who decoys my dog. Not because I'm afraid of people or I'm afraid of the decoy, because this is the thing. When a decoy says to you, I'll fucking run that dog off the field, that's not a decoy. That's a fucking tiny penis, little fucking droopy dick cocksucker that doesn't understand the art of building a fucking dog. Sorry, was that too aggressive? My wife just said, yes.
A little bit.
I've seen it. I've seen it a million times where these guys put this Iron Man suit on and they fucking start beating the piss out of the dog to test it. And this is what they say. They go, why do you keep saying take off the suit? Because you're supposed to not have the suit on. Do you understand what I mean? Like, the dog's not going to go bite someone in a bite suit. You're taking the dog. The bite suit is there. What's really funny, has been a decoy and trainer for almost 50 years. Yeah, well, he needs to start over. Here's the deal.
Hold on a minute. Wait, hold up, because this is where it gets confusing. Dave Reaver is the guy that's in the Rodrigo's Schutzen video, the one that corrects beautifully, neutrally, and then explains what he's doing.
Oh,
so before we shit on Dave Reaver, let's get our videos sorted out.
I get it. Okay. They're trying to be King Kong when they are just Donkey Kong. Yeah. So let me say this, and I'm going to put this out there, okay? I got it now. My apologies to Mr. Reaver. I apologize. I want you to understand something, and I hold decoys highly accountable. Highly accountable. And what I want people to know that decoys don't think about, that bite suit isn't there to protect the dog, you numpty. The bite suit is there to protect you. So you have to suit up in protection, because you would lose that fight every fucking time. You have to put multiple e-collars and prong collars, because you would lose that fight every fucking time. That's the deal. So when you get in your bite suit and you go, oh, I'd run that dog, and look, I have bruising and I have this. Yeah, you do. And you're lucky because you have gauntlets on. We call them pussy pads. You have your whole fucking suit is just bitten right here. Yeah, you have all the advantage. I want to see you when the shit goes south. Take a bite from, I have dogs that have come up to me, and I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, I'm not. You have people that have dogs. They go, my dog. I said, send your fucking dog. Send him. They go, you don't have a suit on. I go, if I had a suit on, he'd bite me. If I don't have a suit on, he's not gonna. What? And they can't fuck. There's too much dick juice in the personal protection and bite work world. There's just too much. It's too much. What we need is more women and balanced men who understand from the ground up. Look, there's a great article, and I'll see if I can find it. It was in the old Dog Sports magazine, and it was so brilliantly written, and it said, oh, I hope someone can find this article. It said, the moment you realize that you are well-rounded as a decoy, you're too old and broken to decoy anymore, so you must be a mentor. This whole, like, there used to be a code with decoys. There used to be you were there for the dog. And I'm not trying to tell you that I'm soft on dogs. If I have to courage test a dog, I'm going to courage test the dog. But I must act like I don't have the suit on. That's the thing. So if I'm all methed out, how long do you think you can run around with no blood, even if you're cracked out or methed out? There's a lot of other things that decoys don't know about. Suits are so highly available now. And people are teaching people to decoy when they don't know how to decoy. They don't know. And there's so many people that don't realize there's a living creature on the end of that sleeve or that end of that suit. And they break the dog and be like, well, he was a pussy, he came off the bite, blah, blah, blah. It's the DDR fucking halfwit. It's all these people that are going to, you know what Elliot said to me last night? She was so funny. I go, I'm so tired of fighting with people. And she's like, don't fight with them. It's the fucking internet. Just say what's on your mind and let them fight amongst themselves.
He's really good at that.
Who? Me?
Elliot. She's really
dude, go up against her. She will fucking take you out. And she will take you out with truth. Stick shyness, genetic stick shyness. Dave Croyer, what are you doing? You're better than that. What are you doing? It's genetic stick shyness. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? It's a good trainer. Do you hear yourself? Genetic stick shyness. Bullshit. Let me ask you a question. The thing with genetic stick shyness is the dog would have to be hit with the stick once to understand stick shyness, right? No? Anybody?
Yes.
So I take this box cutter, okay? And I go like this to the dog. Watch. If the dog runs away, it would have run away without that. If the dog runs away and has never been struck, then yeah, that dog's got some weak nerve problems and you don't want that, right? But if you take this and you go like this and the dog doesn't know, fine. But if you go like this and you cut the dog, that's pain. And that dog's going to go, ow. Is that genetic box cutter shyness? If you correct the dog on a prong collar, boom, and it listens to you, is that genetic prong collar shyness? You can use a prong collar to make a dog stop doing things. You can use a fucking stick to make dogs stop doing things. You can use a prong collar to build a dog up. You can use a stick to build a dog up. Learn how to be better at building dogs instead of just fucking annihilating them. Stop blaming genetic stick shyness, which is not a fucking thing. It's not a thing. And I'm not talking about dogs that are stick shy. I'm talking about a dog coming out of the womb genetically scared of a stick. Do you hear
that would be a hard cull for me. Because no.
Oh God. And people like, that's Dave Croyer. I don't care who it is. Listen to what you're saying. That's the problem, is I don't know who Dave Croyer is, and I really don't. And I've seen a couple of people say, oh, Dave Croyer. I say, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Guy's really good at schützen from what I hear. But when someone says, like even with me, if they said, Chris Fraze said that the dog is genetically water shy. There's people who will go like, yeah, Chris Fraze said it. No, what the fuck? Dog trainers say outrageous shit because they run out of content, because they want to kick a story up. I'm telling you, there are dogs out there that I see that people are like, oh, it's genetic stick shyness. Okay. All right. Okay. So what you're saying is it's genetic, and I can't fix it. No, you can't fix it. Okay. So the dog's coming at me. You have a baton or you have a padded stick, and I start sticking the dog fairly and appropriately. Remember, I have a bite zone. You as a trainer cannot teach that dog that's now over a year old. You can't teach that dog to defeat that weapon. Not defeat it by taking it out of his hand, but to work through it. Then you're a weak ass trainer that doesn't understand behavior. Now the next thing they say is, well, I don't have time to fix it. Well, who fucking broke it? So now what we get is the guy who had the Malinois and the Malinois was going for the toy and he fucking dives on the dog. He's breaking the dog and he can't see it because he doesn't know how to train the fucking dog. And so there's so many people out there who like bloodlust that shit. Like, oh, you see that? Did you see that? You don't even know what you're looking at. Calm down. You're looking at bad training, bad behavior, and an idiot trying to train a dog, and you're sitting there going like, you can't. What are you doing? What are you doing?
But Chris, not only that, if somebody says something that you disagree with or something that is just blatantly obtuse and stupid, it doesn't mean that that discredits everything else that they say or do. And that's the problem, is the lack of critical thinking. So it's oh, you can't go after those, you keep destroying those sacred cows. Well, you're not. It's just having a debate is about destroying your opponent's argument, not destroying your opponent. That's ad hominem. So let's take the thing that is said or the action that is done, and that's what we want to debate. That's what we want to attack. That's what we want to dissect and take apart. But people see it as a whole, and that's such a problem.
Hang on,
because then you're a hater.
Say it's Dave Croyer, who I don't know. Okay, he would be absolutely welcome to come on here and talk to me, right? But here's the thing. There is no such thing as genetic stick shyness. Now think about the word. Don't tell me what your well, what I mean is that if the dog is sensitive to pressure, then it's not stick, it's pressure. Then you're talking about weak nerves. So think about what you're saying before you speak. I absolutely will tell you that I said that Sandy Reeves said something at a seminar that I said. And then it turns out Sandy's like, I didn't say that. I'm like, yes, you did. And then I went back and looked and I'm like, no, you didn't. Yep, you're right. I apologize. And Sandy said to me, you don't need to go on air and apologize for that. Fuck you. If I said you said it on air, then I need to go back on air. Now let's move on. It's people like, oh, you hate Mr. Croyer, or you hate who the fuck? I've never met the guy. But what you're saying is people who get followed tend to get big heads. They tend to get big heads. Now, again, I don't know, but there's video out there of a lot of people who do not fucking understand how to train a dog. And there's so many people. Like, how do you break a dog fight up? You stick your fingers up their ass. Okay. So, I do a lot of bite prevention seminars for Central Maine Power, Maine Safety Council, stuff like that. Can you imagine me walking into the Augusta Civic Center and saying, so what we're going to do is, can I just get some lube here? Can somebody give me some lube? Yeah, there we go. All right. So what you're going to do here, and this is called the anal penetration out right here, right? Okay. So what are you talking about? You heard that. You heard that from old dog men. And then you said, oh, this must be true. You jammed your finger up the ass of the victim dog, not the biting dog.
If I turn up to a seminar and the presenter comes in with a box of sterile nitrile gloves, I'm leaving.
No gloves. He raw dogged it. But he's got a Porsche. You know, like what? I had a trainer say to me, you know what? I respect you as a trainer, but you're going to die poor.
I can think of worse situations to die in.
I'm saying you mean you're gonna die rich but have no integrity. That's what you're saying to me. Oh God damn it. Like people, you wouldn't be able to do that with Sanka, yeah, because you don't know which end, right?
The googly eyes, Tony. I hope you bought them.
That's a great dog. But my whole thing is like, I don't know. Like I'm gonna get off here when we're done, and I'm gonna do another Patreon video. So I don't know what people. I have so much footage from there, and when I tell you that, I don't know. Like, should I just put the footage up, guys, or should I stop it and talk about it? Like, I don't know. It's very hard for me to teach online. And I'm not even teaching. I'm just showing. The real magic happens at the seminars, or if you're a student. Would you agree with that or not, Nikki?
Yes. Sorry, Tony's making me laugh. It's because of what I was saying yesterday. Like, if she brings that beautiful Puli to dinner, and I'm like, you have to put the googly eyes on so that we can watch people pet the wrong end, because that will keep me entertained all night.
There is genuinely something that when I watch Tony's videos, I am critical, but I'm like, look at this shit.
Yeah, joy. That's joy. Smile. That's what we all want. That's like, who wouldn't aspire to?
She's gonna get a big old dreadlock head. So the deal here is, and don't you know, Tony, that black women can't train dogs? You dumbass. Stupid. The deal is, how do you want the content presented to you? How do you want to go on Patreon? Do you want to do the timestamp lives? Do you want to do the just having me do? Because one of the things that gets me, guys, is that there's people here that are watching that are not fans. They watch for different reasons, and there's people on Patreon that are the same way. And what happens on Patreon or here is, when I put content out and I explain it, they now think they know it. Does that make sense? Because they go, oh, well, what he's doing here. Yeah, I just gave you the fucking answer. Like, what? Like, that's why I always want to do shit in person, because you can't hide if you're in person. You cannot hide.
But the formula that seems to have been really interesting, and you did this when you did the Janelle thing, is you put out, maybe a taster on Facebook, or even the whole thing on Facebook, and say, what do you see? Because people love to be right. People love to have validation and go, see, I saw that. And then, this is your homework. The people who are genuinely interested, the behavioral freaks and geeks, are going to go, yeah, I saw this and I saw that. And at this point, they will break down the minutiae of a video. And then you say, so what we're then going to do is go over here and break it down. And the thing that I personally love, and this is my selfish point of view on this, is that sometimes you get stuff pointed out that even you didn't see or didn't notice, and go, and here's something that I wasn't even aware that I did, or that I wasn't aware that happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really valuable, because when people start looking at things, when you really start examining things in great detail and looking at the human aspect, that lovely Schutzen video with Dave Reaver, I'm a fan. I need to go and find out who this. I didn't even know who he was, know his name, and I'm like, this is beautiful. This man's face.
The guy's an old man, and he'll fucking school those Muzz decoys. Like, take him to church. Take him to church. Like, that's when I saw that, I thought Bronson was saying, should, and this is the problem with just text and understanding, is I thought she said, should a decoy ever, and that's a helper, so helper and decoy, ever correct the dog. Now, I'm not a fan of that. But that's Schutzen. That's very Schutzen specific, because that dog when you understand the level that guy's at, you would send the dog in and watch that. He wouldn't have to explain himself. He wouldn't even look up. The more you understand, the less you talk. So when you see someone on a field and they go, like I remember a PSA certified decoy caught a dog, one of my clients' dogs, and fell down because he was wearing cleats on a rooty, rocky surface. And he's like, you wear cleats. That's what you do. I go, look at the surface. And he's like, I don't need your fucking help. Then I just walk. I said, that's fine. And I walk over to my club members and say, don't send your dog on this guy because something's going to go wrong. This guy doesn't understand what's happening. If I go out with a decoy, like Pat Riley's unbelievable. And I didn't always get along with Pat. Pat came out to the Dog Sports Open, and he was the best decoy on the field by far. But by and large, the number of dogs he had to decoy was like 50 there's 50 entries at novice. And then it goes into 30s, and it goes into the 20s up to advanced. And he was bored. And I used to call him the mailman. I was like, oh, here comes the mailman. And he's like, why are you calling me? I said, because you mail it in at the low levels. The reason he didn't win that competition was because of novice. He would have destroyed everyone on that field. So I said to the decoys, do you want a private critique or do you want a public critique? And they all said public. That kid, well, he's a kid back then, he downshifted and just impressed the fuck out of me. He learned his lesson. And that guy can decoy my dog any fucking day. He can decoy all of your dogs. He won't take it personally. But he'll get and he can flip it any way you want. He can do Schutzen, he can do ring, he can do protection. He is a kind, gentle man who can test a dog, who can train a dog, and who can understand dog and human behavior. That's a great guy. That's a great decoy. But he took it like a man. But then there's other people that I've seen spit in the judge's face because they didn't win the competition. Guess what? Nobody does that competition anymore. Do you know why? Because the decoys are a bunch of fucking prima donnas who, when they put on the suit, they think they're already educated.
But I'm going to make an observation, and it's a personal observation because I could be completely wrong here. But from what I've seen, and my background is not in sports, so I watch and learn. But what you notice watching the people who really know what they're doing, watching the artisans, is there is an efficiency and economy of movement. There is stillness. There is no noise or no unnecessary noise. There's no flex. There's just this beautiful ballet. And it's when I watched the French ring video, and just there's a beauty to it, and when you see it, there's just, I don't know, it just looks so different. Sorry, Chris.
7,000 RPM. That's where you find it.
Where the rubber meets the road.
The car disappears.
And it asks you a question.
Who are you?
Who are you?
And you're going to answer. You're going to answer. And what the thing is I watch people answer that question every day. Who are you? Why are you putting a muzzle on that dog? Well, because who are you? What's your skill set level? Why are you always using an e-collar? Well, because who are you? There's an art that's getting curb stomped here, guys. And it's necessary now. It's not even just an art. It's interspecies communication. And it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It can teach you about dogs. It can teach you about you. It can teach you about all other animals. It is religious. And when you see people just, they just ruin it by thinking as humans do, with ego, with greed, with all the 7 deadly sins. And I'm not a religious man. I am not a religious man. But what I'm telling you is there is a house of dog. There is absolutely a house of dog. And you watch that. What was his name? Ratner? What's his name?
Dave Reaver.
He's a preacher.
He is a preacher, man. He is.
Preacher.
There is, and it's something that Mike McConaughey of Baden said a long time ago that really resonated with me. And he's a man of faith, and he makes no apology for that, you know. And I love that he is prepared to stand up for his beliefs and his God and whatever. And it's just like, you have a problem with that? That's your problem, not mine. But he said dog training, and I agree with this. And for me, it's a very spiritual experience. And that may sound extremely corny, but it is spiritual because it's so pure when it's just you and the dog.
There's a lot of people that will never. There's a lot of people, Nikki, who would be agreeing with you right now and do not know what you're talking about. There are people who look at. I'm serious. There are people who look at dogs and go, "I feel this." That's not bond. That's one-sided. You to have a bond with a person or an animal, you must go through shit. Work through your differences and come out the other side stronger. You must. And so people will say, "Oh, my dog has got alopecia areata, and I was with him the whole time." And you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" You're bonded with your dog. That's anthropomorphic. But when you've had a dog that you have absolutely poured blood, sweat, and tears, and the dog giving you everything back, that's a religious moment. And so many people who do not understand that, and they just go, "I think I'm going to be a dog trainer as a career." Like, stop. You're fucking it up for the rest of us.
I get it's so funny you should say that, because someone said to me the other day, she's a 6-month-old puppy, and she said, she has diarrhea, so I'm going to be up with her all night. And I was just like, why? Why?
No, seriously, Nikki, you don't understand. You don't understand something.
Clearly not.
You've got a dog in Vietnam crawling, and the Viet Cong are everywhere. And the dog hears the wind change subtly over a tripwire. And the man goes to put his hand on the tripwire, and the dog goes, and the guy stops, and he sees the tripwire, and he goes, "That dog just saved my life." And staying up because your dog has diarrhea are the same kind of bond. Absolutely.
That was my point. I was coming to my head. My brain just went, okay, it's just runny poop. It's not a major life event. Yeah, have some canned pumpkin.
Don't do what I did and give it pumpkin spice filling. That's bad.
Oh my God, you didn't.
Long time ago, but yep. But that's the thing, is like people emotionally connect with dogs, and the dog doesn't know. And the dog is like, and they're like, "He knows." I'll take people's dogs from them, and the dog will work so much better. And that's the reality of it, because they see that you're told to see what you want to see. It's not easy. Like, if you look at Janelle today, she's like, "When am I going to get this?" I go, Stop. It never ends. Never. And she's like, "Yeah, but I want to be." And I'm like, what did you say? Want to be? Did you say want to be? Can't do it. So I have different kind of content that I think I will look at today, and I'll put something up on Patreon by the end of this evening. Mm-hmm. And you guys have got to give me feedback. And when Elliot gets here, and Shalonda's really starting to put her foot in my ass too, where I don't know if Shalonda can help me with questions that people have. Like, maybe if Shalonda can take down those questions from all of the platforms that we have, and maybe just get YouTube Live where I can just have Shalonda there, and she say, Anal Finger Fighter 69 says, why can't you break up a dog fight by jamming your fist up a dog's ass? Then I will answer the question. Because I don't answer questions. I mean, with Ricardo, he put it right in my grill. And I was like, okay. And I love that. What I don't like is, the fight. I don't want to fight with people. I don't think the Anal Finger Fighter will be watching that day. Yes, I know.
But you got some great feedback here, and it's exactly what we were talking about. People want to see, what do you see type thing. It's exactly what worked before. If it worked before, it will work again, because every situation, every dog, every training session is different. And people love to think. They love to exercise their brains, especially during freaking lockdown. I mean, give us something that's better than, Netflix and whatever else garbage that is being thrown at us. Give us something to think about, to chew on, and then give it 24 hours and then go, right, we're going to have a live and we're going to discuss this and look at everything, all the comments that people put. You did it with Janelle. You've done it a couple of times before, and it was fantastic, because people go, oh yeah, I got that right. And it makes you feel good because you think you know something.
Let me ask you guys a favor too. I know there's some people who take the Patreon content and they're not necessarily giving, videoing it on the phone, but they do show other people. Have them sign up, guys, because the more you sign up, the more I can dedicate to it. That's just it. It takes so much time to do a video like the Chihuahua video. That took 2.5 days. It takes so much time to do that. Just that little short video of Migs when I first got him, where I was like this. Do you understand how many times I misspelled shit? And Nikki was like, yes, Dan, listen, it's a great video, but you're an idiot. And I'm like, all right, so I got to do it again. And that takes time. I can put time into where people invest as well. I have some great women around me right now that are trying very hard to make things easier for you guys. But you have to let Chris be Chris. I'm not going to change and start putting out stupid content because I have to stay true to what the art is. I can't. Like, Nikki's trying to get me to do merch, and I'm like, and it's like, all right, you guys fucking do it. I'm out. Yeah, I know. I know, but I don't want there to be a whiff of it. I don't want there to be, and Nick, look at Nikki's face. Look at, do you guys want merch? Yeah. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh, fuck, shit. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm not making this shit up. I don't say it for the good of my health.
But I'm not saying it because I don't think you know. I'm saying it because I don't want to be seen as one of those fucking sellouts. Do you understand?
Selling things doesn't mean that you're a sellout.
I know, but I don't want to be like those fucking ass hats. Welcome.
It doesn't make you like those ass hats.
I don't even want it to be a question.
You cannot control, you should know this by now, how people perceive things. This goes full circle back to the husky video, right? We see 50 people watch you doing 10 sits with a husky, and 50 people have 50 different interpretations of what it is you're doing, what you were trying to get, the result that you did get, why you did it.
Bronson,
Shut up. Somewhere in there, with all due respect, somewhere in there, please don't cut me off, is someone who's gonna say, dick move, someone who's gonna say, oh, he sold a sweatshirt, fucking sellout. You're not gonna stop that, just as you're not gonna get 50 people all understanding the way you do 10 sits with a husky.
I just Elained myself. I Yeah. So my thing is, Bronson, is I do care very much about what you guys think. I don't care like probably like most people do. I absolutely care what you guys think because I don't ever want there, and I get it, I'm changing it, so let's just move on. But I don't want there to ever be that, oh, here he goes. I mean, I want to stay very true to this because this shit saved my life. Like, you don't understand how much this means to me. There are times where, you know, people are like, oh, it's the business and this. I hate that shit. I hate it. And I truly do. And everybody, you know, it's like that marketing twat that went after Elliot, who said, well, he's marketing himself as a mentor. And Elliot goes, no, he is a mentor.
A mentor.
And that's hard because so I would love it if people said, if you're finding people that are lost of vanilla gorilla bands.
Oh,
if you're
you need to merge that. Yeah, I like that idea, Tony. Definitely.
If you're finding, okay. If you're finding people who are at their, here we go. Okay. Good luck with that, Suzanne. So here's the thing, okay? You got to get rid of COVID, and then we'll make that happen, right, Nikki? There's no chance. It's not.
That's a hard ask. That
you understand that they have me down to about as PC as I get, and about as like organized as I get.
There's a limit.
We're way past the limit. But if you have people that don't understand and are looking, they're lost, they're brainwashed, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. That's who you want on the Patreon. I don't want the idiots on Patreon. And believe me, if people get on Patreon and I even get a whiff that they're sharing content with somebody else, they are gone. And that sucks that we have to do that. But we don't have to do it much. And the thing is, I don't want you guys to get shit for listening to me. That's really important to me too. I don't want that from you guys. You know what we haven't done in a while, Nikki?
No, you can't say that on the live.
Okay.
Especially if April's listening. Oh, that. Sorry.
Remember the days where I didn't give a fuck about any of that shit? Oh, those are great days. The kiddie porn days. I mean, you were gone. You were gone. Mr. Pockets. He's had his pockets picked. She's just fucking fanning legs for cat dick in the fucking thing. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I had someone say to me, very insightful, but I don't like the vulgarity, shows your unprofessionalism. Fuck professionalism. I'm serious because that's a Nikki, listen to me. I am one of those people. It has to be real. It has to be real. It can't be it can't be put in your lap the way you want it. That's the crucible. If you can't take the vulgarity, you can't take training with me. And you know what it is? It's the thing is that we try really hard. We try really hard because what we do is so intense that you have to vent some of that intensity with humor. And you believe me, I know my crowd. I know my people. I know exactly how much, you know, it's the David Bowie song, right? I know when to go out. And I know when to stay in. Right. And that's the timing of it. And so when you sit there, and I don't know who that person was, but you sit there and you go, well, I think it's vulgar. Then don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Mm.
Don't subscribe to it. But stop being a fucking chatty Cathy and what is it, Chad and Karen? And being like, I don't like. Go away. There's plenty of people who are out there like, hi, thank you so much. Thank you. What can I do for you? Well, my dog is humping my 3-year-old in the face repeatedly. Well, could you not use the word humping, please? Could we say mounting? Like, shut up. What?
For God's sake, don't say the word command.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms? Let's have them. Anything?
Anyone?
Anyone? Bueller. Nope, that's it. That's it. Minnesota seminar dates. I don't know. You don't swear enough. Oh. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You know what I mean? Seminar dates, Nikki, tell people, because I just go, yeah.
Well, the next one is a home game, and that's the 7th. Yeah, 7th to the 11th. That starts in 2 days. So if you're not booked, get your ass in gear and come up to Rollinsford.
After that is Texas and
Texas.
Texas.
Which is Texas. I said it that way for Elliot, so that she would understand. I got you, Elliot. I'm not sure about your Texas dates, actually. 1st of October? It's October-ish.
It's October like 6th right now.
Yeah, it's already the October, isn't it? Yeah. I kept thinking we're still in September. It's Groundhog Day here, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. 19th, 20th?
Something.
I do not know. I need to check.
With Danny Delapena, Signature Canine in Elgin, Texas. Then I think we're off for all of November. And then a legend. Is there a date set for the Minnesota seminar? Is there anyone in the house? No, there's no one here. I believe Candace. I believe it's the beginning of December. Yeah, there you go. There you go. We gonna be iced in yet?
What?
Nothing.
This time last year, we were seminaring.
I know.
So depressing.
It's not depressing. Look at here's the thing.
Okay. I find it depressing. Okay, so now I've just made it personal to me, and I know you're going to go, it's not depressing, but I find it depressing being stuck here and going, oh, I would so love to be there.
You're not stuck there. We're going to shave your head, and we're going to make a wish to bring you over.
Why is the head shaving?
Because you have cancer.
Okay.
It's fraud, but we need to do that to get you over here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Is there anybody who will marry Nikki so that we can get her over to the United States and give her citizenship? Man or woman, we don't care. That's what we want. We're looking for. ECY Dub says she'll do it. Absolutely.
I don't do women.
You're strictly Dickly?
Strictly Dickly.
Yeah, okay. Me either. But she'll get you over here. You see what I mean? You don't have to consummate. These two broads. Oh my goodness.
Well, this live just went in a completely unexpected direction.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I thank you guys for watching. I will have some content up on Patreon. Tell your friends. And keep those questions coming. And yeah, that's everything. All right. Bye now.